Hey, my fellow homosexuals. So, I posted a video about how Jesus is a dramatic gay, and that's a fact.
Did you know that according to Christian mythology, Jesus of Nazareth is trans?
The proof of Jesus being a trans man is Immaculate Conception.
God is trans.
Jesus is trans, God's also gay. Wow, we're going to get into the science of this. And also keep in mind, the devil likes to masquerade as an angel in disguise. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. And by the way, Happy New Year to you. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and the devil, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Now, I've seen some things going around, and I'm going to show you some select pieces in this of, I would dare say, a satanic agenda trying to make the unholy holy. Trying to be the devil masquerading as the angel in disguise, trying to distract the world from actual holiness, and maybe, just maybe, replacing holiness with unholiness, Satanism, and feeding it to you as though it's holy. But you get to use your own mind and critically think whatever your opinion on it is. So let's take a look at some, at the very least, entertaining, if not satanic garbage, trying to be passed off as holiness. Starting with Jesus, like we're just now discovering, based on no evidence, that Jesus was trans. You doubt it? Well, take a look at this.
Proof of Jesus being a trans man is Immaculate Conception.
That is science. Immaculately conceived, therefore trans. Like, if you're immaculately conceived, the only possible gender is trans. Cool. Let's hear more.
The only DNA available to make a child within Mary was just Mary's chromosomes.
Which presumably would be XX. However, this, I would dare say, man, what he's neglecting is, let's just say, in fact, Jesus was immaculately conceived. Part of that immaculateness could, in fact, be, here's some XY chromosomes for you from the source of immaculateness. But I'm sure that would just be beyond all realms of miraculous conception.
So the only chromosomes that were available to create a baby were X chromosomes, i.e., Jesus was born with at least one X chromosome, but no Y chromosome. And since you need to have two chromosomes, it's more than likely those were both X's.
This is great. It's actually an impressive unwillingness to critically think. And I do think it is impressive because it's pretty easy to critically think to the point where if you believe that someone was immaculately conceived, Jesus, you believe that, but you're unwilling to believe that XY chromosomes could be part of that immaculate conception. Like, yeah, immaculate conception, I'm totally on board with. But the idea that XY chromosomes, that is just a far stretch that those could be part of the Immaculate Conception. Like, I don't believe in God that much that God could place XY chromosomes in Mother Mary's womb. That is just out there. But definitely on board with Immaculate Conception.
Let me spell that out for you. Jesus was assigned female at birth and transitioned later on in life to be a man.
I'm glad this is spelled out by this person because that definitely wasn't spelled out in the Bible, that Jesus was assigned. They were definitely assigning genders back then, you know. 2,000 years ago, they were so on board with assigning genders. They didn't observe genders back then. They were certainly assigning them. But I'm glad it's spelled out for us here because the Bible forgot to mention that. So thank you, TikTok, for apparently being more informed than the Bible about Jesus's birth.
Or the Bible intentionally misgenders Jesus because the Bible hates women.
Yes!
Additionally, Jesus never had a child, canonically, which means Jesus was either asexual, Jesus was intersex, or Jesus did not have a penis to get someone else pregnant, and Jesus never used their vagina.
Those being the only possibilities in this person's mind. Have you ever heard of a man, you know, a XY man, you know, what used to be referred to as just a man? You know what I'm talking about. Have you ever heard of a man that went his life and didn't have a child? I think the majority of men do, but you may have heard of such weird stories as a man not having children. And it wasn't due to him not having a penis, wasn't due to him not being asexual, not due to him not having XY chromosomes, but it was due to this like weird thing of just choosing to not have a child. But I'm sure that couldn't be the case for Jesus. This scientist has narrowed down the only 3 possible explanations for why Jesus hasn't had a child. And our lives are richer for it.
Now don't be all like, Jesus was the offspring of God, he wouldn't go have sex. Jesus said, go forth and multiply, which did not mean bring people to the church. That meant go have babies. So I hate to break it to you, Jesus ain't got a penis.
And that's proof. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's one insane TikTok account using warped thinking as well as an unwillingness to actually think to justify the claim that Jesus is trans. One insane person is doing that. Well, there's a lot of insane people doing it. Let's take a look at another. And spoiler alert, this one starts with the alphabet people flag.
Did you know that according to Christian mythology, Jesus of Nazareth is trans?
Fact check. No, that's according to you, not Christian mythology.
Well, hello, it's me. Your wildest dream, your worst nightmare, and titanic transgender theological toe-stepper, Jubilee.
We can take just a moment here and wonder the energy working through this person. Is it in fact a holy energy seeking to spread holiness? Or is it perhaps an unholy energy seeking to spread unholiness by way of deception, trying to trick people into believing that their unholy perspective is in fact holiness? You be the judge, whatever you think it is. Now, a lot of people would say, well, deception. Like, no, like, you have to just trust. Like, if it's truly the devil working through this person, the devil wouldn't use deception of trying to trick you into believing that their unholy agenda is unholy. That would be a lie. That would be a deception. The devil wouldn't do that. Would they? I don't know. Would the devil stoop to the level of simple deception? I don't know. It's probably just a holy person, right?
Jesus was transgender, and I can back it up. So according to Christian mythology, that's right, I said mythology. The door is right there.
I have no idea the door is right there comment. What that's supposed to do.
According to Christian mythology, God is infinite. He's the Alpha and the Omega. But
here we're beginning to understand the rationalization, connecting dots that are in no way connecting the rationalization of why Jesus is trans. Let's hear more.
Apparently not a beta? I don't know. Anyway, if God is infinite, every part of him is infinite, including his gender. To imply that God's gender is limited to something as simple as man is heresy. Jesus was...
So we're talking about something infinite, therefore his gender couldn't possibly be boiled down to one gender, but because we are talking about something infinite, we will boil that down to gender. Not just one gender, but multiple genders. But infinite has to be boiled down to the root of gender. How else are we going to grasp the infiniteness of divine? Only through gender.
Fully God. And when the Holy Stork brought baby Jesus to the manger where Mary and Joseph were, I don't know, they don't teach sex ed in schools anymore.
They unfortunately don't teach sex ed in schools anymore, but they do sexualize children in schools a lot.
Looked at baby Jesus and went, aha, it's a boy. So Jesus was assigned male at birth.
Again, they were just assigning genders back then. They weren't observing them like I don't know, like old archaic people. They were back, 2024 years ago, they were definitely like, what are we going to assign this baby? Oh, this baby identifies as a male. That's definitely what they were doing over 2,000 years ago. And you might have thought that was like a new concept in the past couple of years. You were mistaken. We've been doing that for over 2,000 years.
Maybe when he was 7, maybe when he was 12, maybe when he was 33, Jesus became aware of his divinity. His godhood became apparent. At that moment, Jesus' gender became the same as God's, which is infinite. So Jesus would have no longer understood himself to be a man or a boy or whatever. And at that moment, Jesus of Nazareth became trans. Trans deity? Trans divine? Trans God? I don't know, there's new genders coming out every day. It's in your Bible, look it up.
Well, I dare say you won't find any of that in the Bible, but look it up, see if you can find it. I surely couldn't. I have no question. Jesus had the infinite divine of God working through him. But if you believe the story of Jesus, you might have to acknowledge the divine was incarnated in the body of a human. And that human body most likely had a gender, and based on, well, all accounts, that gender was male. But it's probably better to not acknowledge that. We can also observe in that very scientific TikTok account the music, the colors, the makeup, the wardrobe, the character that this person pretends to be and probably believes they are. It has a certain appeal to children. Now, if this hits any adult rational mind, it just registers as nonsense, if not, I don't know, satanic stuff. But when it hits the mind of a child, oh, the lovely musical jingle. Look at those colors. Look at, wow, what a lovely design on that person's eyes and the flamboyance. I would dare say that kind of thing is potentially aimed and designed to invade the minds of children. And if there was ever an agenda to disconnect people, certainly children, from God, I would dare say that time would be now, where that's an agenda. So using the illusion of teaching children about Jesus and God in order to disconnect children from actual Jesus and God, if that is not satanic, I don't know what is. If that is not the devil masquerading as an angel in disguise, I don't know what would be. Now, before we get to more, I came across this article entitled Jesus, the First Transgender Man. And this was published on HuffPost.com. It's not necessarily a small website. Now, the logic of rationalizing in this article how Jesus was, in fact, the first transgender man is incredible. Now, to understand how Jesus is in fact a transgender man, we first have to understand the story of Adam and Eve, not according to the Bible. We wouldn't want to do that, but understanding the story of Adam and Eve according to HuffPost. Scroll down, we see Eve was in fact the first transgender woman. Whoa, how'd that work? Well, God reached into Adam, pulled out a bit of rib bone, and grew Eve from that XY DNA into Adam's companion. She was created genetically male and yet transformed into a woman. So that would mean Eve is born a man, pulled only from the XY chromosomes of Adam, and then transitioned into a woman with XY chromosomes, which is technically not a woman, but hallucinatorily speaking, is definitely a woman. Then along comes Jesus, and the whole pattern is both repeated and reversed. The first couple's refusal to cooperate is turned around by Mary's yes, and the second act of cloning occurs. Whoa, cloning. Getting a little Bill Gatesy here, aren't we? The Holy Spirit comes upon the second Eve, and the child takes flesh from her and is born. So I think at this point they're talking about the child is Jesus, born from Mary. Born of her flesh, born with XX chromosomes, women chromosomes, born genetically female, and yet transformed into man. You know, it's liken Jesus into a transformer, like transformer more than meets the eye. Acknowledging holiness, but refusing to let divinity be a part of it. So let's just say Jesus didn't have an earthly father. They're saying, well, then, you know, the human level, you know, Jesus could have only come from Mother Mary's body. He could have only had XX chromosomes. Well, then how the f did Mary get pregnant if there's nothing else involved? If there was no divine sperm, if you will, and if there was in fact divine sperm, which how else would she have gotten pregnant? Then could there have been DNA coming from divinity? Perhaps XY chromosomes coming from that divinity? You might answer, well, that would have to be. But you would have to have an open, critically thinking mind to consider that. Now, at this point, at least according to the Gospel of TikTok, we've established, of course, Jesus was trans. But guess who else is trans according to the Gospel of TikTok? God. Take a look.
God is trans. All y'all Christians out here losing your goddamn mind when it comes to trans rights, which is stupid, and you should be for the marginalized. But beyond that, your God is literally trans.
Literally trans? Okay, let's see your proof that God is literally trans, fella.
Genesis 1, it talks about let's make humanity in our image, the I form of they. The term
I think he said my image, not our image.
spirit is a feminine word, importance for the whole.
Gotta make everything about gender, don't we? Just distill divinity down to only gender. We gotta make everything about only gender. Make it about gender and only gender. That's a pretty 360-degree open lens we have, don't we?
Whole, Holy Spirit. And God is likened to father and mother all throughout the text. God's pronouns are literally they, their, them.
Fact check. God's pronouns aren't literally they, their, them.
How else are you going to talk about the Trinity?
By not using they, their, them when you talk about the Trinity. Yes, those are three pronouns, but that doesn't necessarily relate to the Holy Trinity. They're three things that are potentially unholy. Perhaps the unholiest pronouns.
And beyond that, verbatim, in Galatians, it says, in Christ, there is neither male nor female. And in ancient Israel, there were 8 genders.
I don't know if that's true.
8. Christians, where do you get off being transphobic? Stop.
I will say I am not transphobic, but I am definitely stupid phobic. I'm satanic phobic as well. On the topic, the New York Post just recently posted this. God is Trans exhibit at very liberal NYC Catholic Church raises eyebrows for take on gender identity. God, check out the article. It's worth a read, but we're not going to spend time on that there because we've already established that God is trans. There's also talk about God being a homosexual.
Hey, my fellow homosexuals. So I posted a video about how Jesus is a dramatic gay, and that's a fact. And I stand by that, and the response has been awesome. But recently I've been getting a few more comments from people who are like, just stop, bro. Stop saying Jesus is gay, bro. And some people...
This guy with his red beard kind of makes me genderphobic myself.
People posting things that are a little more violent than that.
Wow. Posting things that are more violent than that thing that wasn't violent at all. Like, where do you get off, bro? Oh, yes, that's violent. But they were also commenting things that were even more violent than that. This guy needs to go watch the UFC to find out what violence actually is.
Which I just kind of find hilarious that people are so upset that their view of Jesus might not line up to mine. Because, I mean, wasn't Jesus just basically like the first Nepo baby? I mean,
I had to look that up. Nepo baby means the baby of a famous person. And he's saying God's the famous person, Jesus is the baby. Very trendy way to talk about Jesus.
We wouldn't even know about this guy if it wasn't for his big daddy. Or he pulled like an Anna Sorkin level con that's still going on today. I mean, the Nepo baby thing kind of makes sense, right? He was born and...
Nope. I appreciate that you asked the question right because you're inherently insecure about what you're saying, my friend. But no, not right.
Royalty showed up. He had a very high expectation at a young age. He was super demanding. He talked about his dad a lot. I mean, if you basically did anything that he didn't agree with, he would give you the line of like, I don't think my father, the inventor of the earth, would be very happy about this, and all this is essentially say like, no, I'm not going to stop talking about gay Nepo Jesus, because if people can pick and choose and interpret the Bible to justify their hate, then I don't understand why we can't claim the Bible for good, right? Because I don't know if the big man in the sky exists, but I kind of believe that if he does, he is not conservative or homophobic or anti-trans or American or white. But what he probably is big mad at the people who are using Christ and not acting Christian. Bro.
There we have proof that God's gay. Also proof that at a political level, which I'm sure that's where God loves to work in the realm that's the most godless, God is not a conservative. God's certainly a leftist, as we can conclude here. I show all this to you, my dear freedom-loving friend, because this is what's being shown to children, and this is what's being shown to adults who still have the emotional maturity of a child, therefore are easily influenced. I've asked this question several times in this video, but is it possible that the age-old wisdom that the devil likes to masquerade as an angel in disguise could be what is at work here? If we could just use our imaginations for a little bit, as well as our observing abilities, and notice, could there be a satanic agenda in the world? And if that's true, Here's true to me. I don't know about you. But if there is a satanic agenda in the world, wouldn't part of that satanic agenda potentially be to rid the world of holiness? And one way to do that is using deception to say, hey, here's unholiness that I'm telling you is holy, so you stop moving towards actual holiness. But here's my unholiness. It's actually satanic, but I'm using words like God and Jesus in a very unholy satanic way. So please worship this and cut your dick off. And with that said, I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But before that, here's a special message. What's up, my lion friends? I want you to know this. Having a weak immune system is like having an open border for your body. Not good. Now, we might be a little challenged with the open border of our country right now, but one thing you don't have to be challenged by is an open border with your body. What I rely on the most to give me good, strong, fierce immunity so I can have a secure border in my body is Fierce Immunity by Rebel Lion. As a freedom fighter, I love this because fierce immunity helps me protect and preserve my most precious freedom. My health. Now get this, the expert formulation team at Fierce Immunity has gone to great lengths to find the most essential ingredients that will have the most potent impact on strengthening your immunity. Here's how. Using proprietary technology, they tested different natural ingredients across all systems of the body, and what came back was over 1 trillion different data points which showed these ingredients in Fierce Immunity are the most potent immune protectors. And the brilliant part is, it's not just the ingredients themselves that are so powerful, it's how the ingredients synergistically work together to strengthen your immune system like nothing else on the market. Some people just passively sit around hoping for good health, or they put their health in someone else's hands. That's not what lions do. Lions proactively take control of their health. And if you're a lion and you want to secure the borders of your body with a strong immune system, just go to getfiercenow.com/JP and pick yourself up a bottle of Fierce Immunity or get on a monthly subscription program. It's time to get fierce.